The US Open is back, and this is the women's draw preview. We've got the likes of Sabalenka, Iga Swiatek, Coco Gauff, and Jelena Rybakina. Also a few other players to note. We've got Emma Raducanu in there, and two-time champion Naomi Osaka. But can she get past Jelena Ostapenko? These are my predictions, so stick with us. We're going through them. And it seems like a long time since we were at the US Open. A whole year has passed. A lot of tennis has been played since Coco Gauff lifted the trophy last year. Let's have a look at the previous champion. And she beat Aryna Sabalenka in 3 sets. An emotional time to grab your first ever Grand Slam title. The year before that was Iga Swiatek defeating Ons Jabeur. And then the year before that, how can we forget Emma Raducanu defeating Leylah Fernandez in the final. And the most incredible fairy tale, Naomi Osaka won it in 2020, defeating Azarenka in the final. And then we had Andreescu 2019. Naomi Osaka back in 2018 as well. And we've not had back-to-back champions since 2014 when Serena Williams, she had won it for a 3rd straight time, defeating Caroline Wozniacki in the final. But we know the reigning defending champion is Coco Gauff, and she is number 3 in the seeds for this one. How will she fare in the odds? Well, she is number 3. We got Aryna Sabalenka is the favourite for the tournament there at 2-1 or 3s. We got 4.5 for Iga, Coco Gauff at 10s, and then Jelena Rybakina at 12s, Pegula at 19s, Mila Andreeva level with Pegula at 19s, and Naomi Osaka 26. Paula Badoza also 26 as well there. Kim Win-jeng, worth keeping an eye on at 29s. But other than that, Raducanu maybe 51s. I think that's still maybe a little bit generous. An absolutely horrendous draw should have to get through to be able to lift the trophy. But if you are just joining, make sure you've hit a like and subscribed. And please download the TNNS app and play along at home and join the Game to Love Fantasy League. We're the one at the top with about 3,000 people. And let's get stuck into this one. Right, okay, so at the top of the draw, as we know, is Iga Swiatek, and I believe she will go through with ease against the lucky loser Rakhimova. We got Daria Saville against Shibahara. I'm going to be going Saville on that one. Going down, we got Coccialetto versus Baindl. Tough one to pick. I'm going to go Baindl. Pavlyuchenkova, I was talking about her before. I think she beats Taylor Preston. She's been in good form as Pav. Mira Andreeva to knock out Osorio Solano. Shui Zhang versus Ashlyn Kruger. I'm going to go for the American here. Boskova against Lees. I'm going to go Boskova. Samsonova to knock out Wang. Collins to knock out Dollarhide. Buxer or Saron. I'm going to go Buxer. Towson to knock out Schmidlova. Schneider, been in great form to knock out Podoroska. We got Katie Balter. I'll have to knock out the qualifier Sasnovich. I'll have Petra Martic to knock out Balsas Meniello. Who else have we got here? Oh, this is the big one. Sophia Kenin, Emma Raducanu. I already said in the draw reaction which way I was going to go. I'm sticking with Emma. I think that she will be able to get it done. Kenin, very tough first round match. And I think Emma will face Pegula in the second round. Pegula will knock out Rogers, I feel, with ease. Rybakina will go through as well with ease in her first round match. And Sai Zheng, I'm going to go with against Ponchet. Wozniacki to knock out Urbino. Garcia to knock out Zarazua. I'm going to go for an upset and have Avanesian knocking out Haddad Maya. Let me know if you agree at home. I'm going to have Cerebras Tormo knocking out Alexa Noel. I'll have Bernarda Pella knocking out Bondar. Kalinskaya knocking out Davis. Osaka versus Ostapenko. I mean, this is where it really gets interesting. Osaka, Ostapenko. Osaka's last match that she's just played, just coming off the back of a defeat at Cincinnati, where she actually lost to Ashlyn Kruger. So we go back up. We'll see Kruger. Where are you? I just put her through in one of the other rounds. Anyway, regardless, yeah, she is playing somebody a lot more tough than Kruger. She beat Blinkova, lost to Kruger. Ostapenko is another level, I feel, above, and it's going to be really, really tough for Naomi Osaka. I mean, Ostapenko's just come off the back of a loss to Avanesian. I'm going to go for a punt here, and I'm going to go for a punt saying that Naomi Osaka knocks out the number 10 seed. That may be an unpopular opinion. I'm going for I think she's won it twice for a reason. And if she turns up in that first match, I don't think there's many people who can stop her. I think she'll have Mukova second round, though, who's going to knock out Volyanets. I'll have Fravitova to knock out Lepchenko. Leila Annie Fernandez to knock out Potapova. Noskova to knock out Putintseva. I'll have Wang knocking out Rodniova. Pliskova to knock out Sharif, maybe. I'll go with that. Paulini to knock out Andreescu. Sorry, Canadian fans. I'll have Krajcikova through as well. Grabber or Ruza? I'll go with Ruza. Taylor Townsend to knock out Trevisan. Badoza to knock out Golubic. Azarenka, she's been to the final a few times here at the US Open. Definitely got good pedigree. I'll have Sloane Stephens as well, former champ. And Diane Parry I'll put through. Sakari I'll put through. Navarro I'll put through as well against Blinkova. Quite a good match, that one, though. Blinkova, Navarro. Bogdan to knock out Rus. Dart to knock out Paquette. Kostyuk to knock out Kessler. I'll go with, Svitolina on hard court to beat Karla. Kalinina to set up an all-Ukrainian affair in the second round. I'll have Tatiana Maria or Solana Sierra. I don't know much about Solana Sierra. So let's see who she beat in the qualifying, and then I'll be able to give you a better assessment. So she knocked out Makarova, Sealdal, and Arconada. Doesn't really fill me with a lot of hope. I'm going to go Tatiana Maria there. Coco Gauff to knock out Gracheva. I mean, Gracheva, somebody who just recently took a set off of Iga, and that was in Cincinnati, I believe. Is that right? Yes, Cincinnati. She just literally lost to Balsas Manero, though, in Cleveland. This is a really, really tough one to pick as well. One of the other standout matches in the first round, and Amanda Anisimova versus Kim Win-Jeng. I mean, Anisimova just went all the way to the final in Toronto, only losing in 3 sets to Jess Pegula in the final. She beat the likes of Sabalenka, Kalinskaya, Kasatkina, and Navarro in that run. Kim Win-Jeng, I mean, has she got it in her? I mean, she won the gold at the Olympics, but after that, she lost in Cincinnati to Pavlyuchenkova. Have they ever played before is a question I'm going to go with. And let's just have a look to see if they have. No, they have not. So I'm just going to have to go off a gut feeling. I think Kim Win-Jeng goes out then. Anisimova knocks her out. She's in better form. She's in America. Kim Win-Jeng, it's just a really, really bad draw, unfortunately. I'm going to have Erika Andreeva knocking out Yuan. Uchijima knocking out Korpach. Niemeyer or Yastremska. I'm going to go Yastremska. Vekic to knock out Birol. Freck to knock out Minen. Stearns to knock out Sorenko. Kasatkina to knock out Christian. Keys to knock out Siniakova. Siegeman to knock out Joint. Tomjanovic to knock out Lee. Kudermetova to knock out Martins. Might change that, actually. I'm going to go Mertens. Alexandrova to knock out Tomova. Lynette to knock out Jovic. Lulu San, who's been playing really well. I think she's playing at the moment, to be honest. I mean, as I'm recording this, she's currently playing a final against Noskova. I mean, outstanding stuff. And she actually beat Noskova in Cincinnati as well. I mean, absolutely brilliant stuff from Lulu San. Didn't think it would be a flash in the pan. And Sabalenka from the bottom. Let's go back to the top again. So, eager to beat Daria Saville, I believe. I have Pavlyuchenkova going through against Bindel. Mila Andreeva going through against Kruger. Samsonova to go through against Boskova. Daniel Collins through against Buxer. Schneider through against Towson. Balter or Petra Martic? I mean, I'm not seeing much of Balter on these US Open courts. I'll go with her for now just because she's a Brit. I mean, Pegula versus Emma Raducanu is a fantastic match. I mean, if we get A grade both players, I don't believe they've ever played before, have they? I'll have to have a quick check. Oh, they have. They played twice before. There you go. Shows what I remember. They played in Eastbourne, and that was earlier this year. Oh, and Emma Raducanu won. Of course she did, yes. And she beat her in 3 sets, very close sets as well. And before that, she lost in Cincinnati to Jess Pegula. It's a real tough ask, to be honest. Can she beat Jess Pegula in America? I mean, Pegula would be looking at that and be thinking, like, either second round match is a nightmare. I'm going to have to play against either one's a slam champion. Emma Raducanu, who's won the US Open before, let's not forget that. Or Sophia Kenin, who's won the Australian Open. Both hardcourt slam champions as well. Really, really tough to pick. Surely, I mean, Raducanu, what has she done lately to give any sort of confidence? She beat Peyton Stearns in Washington. She went 3 sets with Badoza, which wasn't actually that bad, to be honest. She's got to get past Sophia Kenin first. I still feel like Jess Pegula, though. I mean, that's not in slams, though. Jess Pegula's good in Masters. We know she's good in Masters. She won Toronto, got to the final of Cincinnati, been to 2 Masters finals on hardcourt. I think she'll be too strong. I'm going to go with the gut. I feel like the form's there. Raducanu just isn't. I'm sorry. Rybakina to knock out Zheng. I'm going to go Wozniacki to knock out Garcia. It's a bit of a punt. Avanesian to knock out Tormo. Kalinskaya to knock out Pera. Osaka to knock out Mukova. I think she has a little run here. Leila Annie Fernandez to knock out Flavitova. Noskova to knock out Wong. Paulini to knock out Plisk. Krejcikova to knock out Rusa. Badoza to knock out Townsend. Stevens or Azarenka? I think Azarenka. Too good. I mean, look at how she's still a seed. I mean, just consistent player. Sakkari or Parry? I mean, I swear those two have played before. This rings a bell in my head. Yes, they played twice before. They played at Indian Wells where Maria Sakkari won in 3 sets. The other one must have, I'm not sure which surface it was on, but I'm going to go with Sakkari just based upon that. I'll go Navarro to beat Bogdan, Kostyuk to beat Dart, Svitolina to beat Kalinina, Gauff to beat Maria, Anisimova to go through again, Yastremska, Vekic, Stearns to knock out Kasatkina, Keys to knock out Siegemann, Tomjanovic to knock out Mertens, Linette, I'm going to have to knock out Alexandrova. And I think Sabalenka just far too strong. Even though Lulu Sun, I'm so impressed with. It's just a really bad draw for her. I feel that she could have, if she had had a better draw, could have seen her in a second week. All right, all the way back to the top again. Eager to beat Pavlyuchenkova. I think it might be a couple of close sets there, though. I mean, Pav's been playing very good tennis. I feel like the movement will be the key winner in that match, though. I'll have Mila Andreeva beating Samsonova. Schneider or Collins? I mean, very, very interesting one. Didn't think I'd see this matchup. Schneider Collins. Umming and ahhing. Who should I go for? Umming and ahhing. I really don't know. I mean, they're both. Collins having a fantastic year, as is Schneider. I mean, reflected by both of them being high seeds. Schneider, where'd she get to? She got to the semi-finals in Toronto. Cincinnati was knocked out by Leylah Fernandez. Maybe was a little bit burnt out. Beat Coco Gauff in Toronto. But Danielle Collins, there's just something. She's in America as well on this one. This is built for her, really. Just lost in Monterrey to Erika Andreeva, but only lost to Iga at the Olympics. I think I'm going to be going Schneider. Sorry, Collins. Going on the form. Pegula to beat Balta. 2 Brits in a row. Rybakina to beat Wozniacki. Kalinskaya or Avanesian? This Avanesian is having some good form, but is she good enough to get past Anna Kalinskaya? And Kalinskaya, she's only lost to some good players recently, really. Badoza, Anisimova. She was pretty good at Wimbledon until she withdrew. There's a lot of withdrawals, though. This Avanesian, I mean, I like her game style. Is she strong enough? I'm not sure really yet. I'm going to go Kalinskaya, safe bet. Now this gets interesting. And we got Leylah Fernandez versus Naomi Osaka. I mean, power versus just will and determination. I mean, Fernandez has been playing well recently, which gives me a lot of hope for her. And she holds a win in their only match they ever played. And that was at the US Open, if you remember. So if they were to play, that would be a rematch of 3 years ago. I don't know. I mean, I think Leylah Fernandez. I think that she's been playing quite well recently. I think that she'll beat her again. Out goes Osaka. I'm going to have Jasmine Paolini knocking out Noskova. I'm going to have Paula Badoza knocking out Barbora Krejcikova. Maria Sakkari versus Victoria Azarenka. I mean, it's not a bad draw for Sakkari, but Azarenka at the US Open, just a different animal. I don't think she gets past Azarenka for some reason. She's never beaten Azarenka. That's crazy as well. I think it continues. I think Sakkari goes out. Navarro versus Kostyuk. I'm going Navarro, being a home court advantage. Look at this. We have 2 America versus Ukraine matches, and then we've got Svitolina versus Coco Gauff. I'm going Coco Gauff. 3 in a row. Oh, my word. 3 America versus Ukraine. And I'm going to be going for Anisimova to knock out Yastremska. So I've gone for all the Ukrainians to go out there. Apologies to Ukraine. Donna Vekic versus Peyton Stearns. I mean, that's an interesting one. Stearns, a bit of a hard hitter, but so is Donna Vekic. Stearns, has she got enough? I don't think she has yet. She's beaten some good players recently. Keys, Azarenka, but the jury's still out a little bit on her. I'm going to go with the safe bet. Tomljanovic Keys, I'm going to go for Madison Keys. And Saba from the bottom. Right, back to the top. And we've got Iga Swiatek versus Mila Andreeva. This is really tough. They just played each other in Cincinnati, and it was really close. I mean, the way that Mila Andreeva played, Iga had to come back, and she really had to fight all the way up until 5-5 in the third set just to get the break and then eventually finish off Andreeva. I feel that those courts were very, very fast. Doesn't suit Iga's game at all. I don't think these courts will be as fast, which will benefit Iga even more. However, Andreeva is improving all the time, making small adjustments. She'll want to get that one back as well. She beat the likes of Paolini, Pliskova, Emma Navarro in Cincinnati. I mean, she won her first title recently as well, playing in Romania on the clay. There's definitely a level of confidence which is growing with Mila Andreeva right now. I think I'm going to go for an upset. I'm going to have Mila Andreeva knocking out Iga Swiatek. Didn't know I was going to do this beforehand. Didn't even know the matchups I was going to see. This is the way I'm picking it, though. I mean, so far, pretty scary. So is that a fourth round exit for Iga? Let's just have a check. What's that? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, fourth round exit. Okay. We got Jess Pegula versus Diana Schneider. Yeah, I think Pegula will go through against Schneider. Rybakina Kalinskaya. I think Rybakina will probably be okay at the moment against Kalinskaya for some reason. Normally, it's a player that causes her problems. Kalinskaya split with her boyfriend. Rybakina split with her coach. So where do they go from here? This is a brilliant match. Paolini versus Leylah Fernandez. Sign me up for this one. And really difficult to pick because I don't know if any of their previous meetings, I mean, there's been 4 of them, will play a factor at all. I mean, Paolini beat her this year, but that's only because Paolini's been in good form this year. But then Leylah Fernandez wasn't in form when they played. Now she's in better form than she was then. It's a really tough one. I think I'm going to go Leylah Fernandez to knock out Paolini. Azarenka versus Badoza. Badoza, is she going to bulldoze her, or is Azarenka going to continue her fantastic run of form at the US Open? I think Badoza is going to get the victory here. If I'm right, I think that they met in, was it an Indian Wells final? And it was a really, really entertaining, one of the best finals I think I've ever seen on the women's side. Yeah, Indian Wells back in 2021. That was when they played it in October. Yeah, that was a fantastic match, that final. I got a bit of recency bias and then went a bit too big on Badoza after that. But since then, Azarenka's won their next 2 matches. I think Badoza is back to form, though. So moving down, Coco Gauff versus Emma Navarro. Ooh, they're getting tougher to pick now, I tell you. They are definitely getting tougher to pick. Gauff against Navarro. Played twice before. Navarro won on grass. I'm going Coco Gauff. She won on hard court. And she's the reigning champ. Anisimova versus Donna Vekic. I'm going to be sticking with the Anisimova train. I think she's going to have a resurgence. And then I'm going to have Sabalenka beating Keys at the bottom. Moving back to the top, we're going to have quarterfinal time. And we've got the youngster who has already made it to Grand Slam semi-final against Jess Pegula, who's been plugging away and's never made it to a Grand Slam semi-final. Who is going to get to this Grand Slam semi-final? Is Pegula going to be a deer in the headlights yet again? And is she going to fall to the young assassin? I think that she is going to fall to the young assassin. I think the pain continues for the number 6 seed, Jess Pegula. And Mila Andreeva knocks her out of the tournament, goes into the semi-finals. And these two literally just played. We got Rybakina versus Leylah Annie Fernandez. I mean, this one that one could be a really, really close matchup, to be honest. I mean, for me, Rybakina should be the clear favourite, but it's tough to say. I mean, Fernandez went to 3 sets with her, even won a tie-break against her in Cincinnati. But I think she gets her revenge. I think Rybakina beats her here at the US Open. It's going to be there's a lot of tough calls to make in this draw because there's a lot of different factors going on and off the court. Paula Badoza versus Coco Gauff in the quarterfinal. And I think I'm going to go Paula Badoza to knock out Coco Gauff. Something about Badoza at the moment. I like what I see. There was something against that, against Pegula when she played her recently. She looked very frustrated in the first set, but was able to pull herself back. And I was impressed by her fight in that match, despite the loss. I think she beats Coco Gauff. And then we go to the bottom. Anisimova versus Sabalenka. I mean, another fantastic match. I mean, that one's really tough to call. 2 very, very hard-hitting ladies, that's for sure. And Anisimova leads the head-to-head 5-2 as well. Beat her in Toronto just 2 weeks ago. I mean, Sabalenka, though, just after that, just went on an absolute storming run and just gone on and won Cincinnati. But you can't deny it, can you? She just literally beat her comfortably as well. It wasn't 3 sets. It was straight sets, 6-4, 6-2. They have played each other twice this year. I think Sabalenka's going to get it done. I mean, she won the first one this year. Anisimova won the second one. I think Saba wins the next one. And we're going to have our semi-finals being Mira Andreeva versus Elena Rybakina. And Paula Badoza versus Sabalenka. I'm going to go for a bit of an upset here in the first semi-final. I'm going to go for Mira Andreeva to make her first ever Grand Slam final. And at the bottom, well, Badoza, Sabalenka, 2 absolute fan favourites. And probably wouldn't like to beat each other. But Sabalenka leads the head-to-head between those two, 5-2. I think that Sabalenka does get it done. I think if she plays her best tennis, it's always on her racket. And then we get the final of Sabalenka versus Mira Andreeva. And I think Sabalenka takes it. She grabs the US Open title with both hands and lifts it as high as she can. As you probably know already, we normally do dark horses outside the top 20. So Mira Andreeva, there you go. She's my dark horse. So that's my draw preview and predictions all done, wrapped up. Let me know your picks in that comment section below. Bringing this one slightly later than planned, but I thought I'd gotta get this one out. It is coming up to 4 a.m. while I'm recording this right now, but doing it all for the cause, and hopefully you appreciate it. Make sure, if you haven't already, smash a like, subscribe, and we'll see you for the US Open. It's nearly upon us.